very extreme ratio of nickel to iron that was never seen before in any comet.
It is happening now. December 19th, 2025. The confirmation lands without drama, but the effect is immediate and severe. 3I Atlas has reached its closest point to Earth, and it is already leaving. The object is no longer inbound. It is turning outward, accelerating away, slipping past the last gravitational handholds of the solar system. For astronomers, this is the most dangerous phase of all. Not approach, escape. Across the globe, telescopes lock on and refuse to blink. Tracking systems update faster than planned, forced into near real-time correction loops. Exposure times are shortened. Filters are swapped mid-sequence. This is the final clean window before distance and darkness begin to erase detail. At roughly 270 million kilometers, the object is close enough to measure but too far to touch, too far to intercept, too far to correct for mistakes. There will be no second pass. There will be no redo. Inside control rooms, the mood tightens. Data does not arrive smoothly. It comes in bursts, irregular, compressed, incomplete. Light curves jump instead of settling. Brightness fluctuates where physics predicts stability. Each new orbital solution invalidates the one before it, forcing recalculations that eat precious minutes. The models refuse to converge. The math will not calm down. Something is still changing, and it is changing fast. The danger is no longer hypothetical. Scientists understand the brutal rule of timing. Once an interstellar object leaves, so does the evidence. Spectral details blur first. Subtle motion cues vanish next. Finally, even position certainty collapses into probability. Every photon captured now is irreplaceable. Every missed second becomes a permanent blind spot in history. This is not routine observation. This is a countdown. What unsettles researchers most is the behavior during departure. 3I Atlas is not slowing. It is not showing the gentle deceleration expected from solar interaction. It does not bend into a looping path. There's no hint of return. Instead, velocity vectors sharpen. The exit line straightens. The object behaves like something that was never meant to stay, only to pass through. Even the tracking software seems strained. Error margins widen instead of narrowing. Confidence intervals stretch when they should compress. The object's motion appears clean, almost disciplined, as if external variables are being minimized rather than amplified. This is not how natural visitors usually behave at the edge of escape. The solar system is noisy. This departure is not. By now, everyone understands the same silent truth. This moment will define what humanity knows and what it never will. Whatever questions remain unanswered when 3I Atlas fades will remain unanswered forever. The window is already closing. The object is already dimming. And just as scientists realize how little time remains, something else begins to stand out in the data, something that does not belong to a simple flyby, and signals that the next phase of this encounter is about to become far more disturbing. It does not move the way it should. From the moment the updated trajectory locks in, alarms ripple through the scientific community. Every new orbital solution makes the situation worse, not clearer. The path of 3I Atlas slices through the solar system at a harsh angle, moving retrograde, against the direction nearly everything else travels. It is almost perpendicular to the ecliptic plane, the flat disk where planets are supposed to live and move. This is not a gentle drift inward. It is a sharp, deliberate cut. Simulation after simulation redraws the same impossible picture. The object threads between the orbits of Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Earth, and the Sun with unnerving precision, not wide margins, not sloppy clearance, clean gaps. Each close approach avoids gravitational disruption that should have bent, slowed, or shattered it. Instead, the trajectory remains stable, controlled, and intact. Celestial dynamicists run probability models again and again, and the numbers refuse to cooperate. The odds of this sequence happening by chance collapse towards zero. Hyperbolic velocity removes the last comforting explanation. This object is not bound to the sun. It did not form here. It will not loop back. It entered the solar system at extreme speed and is leaving even faster, carrying its secrets with it. This is not an Oort cloud fragment knocked loose by a passing star. Its energy profile does not match. Its angle does not match. Its timing does not match. Every familiar category fails. As data streams in, unease deepens. Gravity assists that normally leave scars leave none. Planetary flybys that should distort rotation and spin show no measurable effect. Even Earth, so often caught in cosmic crossfire, is narrowly but repeatedly bypassed as if excluded from the encounter altogether. No warnings were triggered. No interception was possible. The object passed through the most crowded region of the solar system and emerged untouched. The danger is not collision. That threat has already passed. The danger is what the motion suggests. Motion encodes history. It preserves decisions. Natural debris tumbles, wobbles, reacts. 3i Atlas does none of that. Its path looks resolved long before entry, as if calculated elsewhere under different rules with a destination already decided. Scientists avoid saying it out loud, but the implication hangs heavy in every briefing. Randomness does not look like this. And as the object accelerates outward, one question tightens its grip on the room. If the trajectory itself is the message, then the next anomaly may not be in where it came from, but in how it is behaving right now. Because trajectory was only the beginning. The shock does not come gradually. It hits the moment the data locks in. A jet is erupting from 3i Atlas, but it is pointing toward the sun, not away from it. That single fact freezes the room. Every known comet vents material outward as solar heat boils ice from its surface. This one does the opposite. Frame after frame confirms it. The jet is narrow, sharply defined, and aimed inward, directly against the solar radiation that should be pushing everything back. There is no chaotic spray, no expanding dust cloud to soften the geometry. What appears instead is clean, focused, and unsettlingly precise. As hours turn into days, the anomaly deepens. The jet does not wobble. It does not weaken. It does not rotate with the comet's spin the way natural outgassing should. It holds its position with disturbing consistency as if locked in place. Scientists run thermal models again and again, adjusting variables, pushing assumptions to their limits. Every version fails. Water ice sublimation cannot produce this behavior. Carbon-based volatiles do not explain it. Even exotic chemical reactions collapse under scrutiny. The physics simply refuse to cooperate. What makes the situation worse is what isn't there. No thick coma surrounds the nucleus. No turbulent plume erupts in random directions. The background remains clean, almost sterile, allowing the jet to stand out with brutal clarity. This is not noise. This is structure. And structure implies control. Whether natural or not remains the question no one wants to ask out loud. Each new update tightens the pressure. Independent observatories confirm the same geometry, different instruments, different wavelengths, same result. The jet's brightness fluctuates slightly, but its direction does not change. That detail alone sends alarms through the modeling teams. A natural comet should flicker, stutter, misbehave. This one behaves as if it is following instructions written long before it ever reached the sun. Whispers begin to circulate in the margins of conferences and internal briefings, not claims, questions. Why would a jet fight solar force instead of riding it? Why does it remain stable when the nucleus should be tumbling? Why does it resemble a mechanism more than a reaction? No one offers conclusions, but the silence grows heavier with every failed explanation. And as the comet continues its outbound trajectory, the realization settles in. This jet will not be studied forever. The window is closing. Soon, the signal will weaken, the geometry will blur, and the most disturbing feature of all may vanish before it is understood. But just as scientists focus on the jet, another realization begins to surface, because this is not the only anomaly, and the next one is already stacking on top of it. The alarm is no longer subtle. By the time analysts finish updating the latest models, the anomaly count reaches 15, and the room goes quiet. Not because the data is unclear, but because it is too clear. This object is behaving in ways no comet should, and it is doing so repeatedly, consistently, and all at once. Activity ignites in regions that should be frozen solid. Jets appear where solar energy is too weak to trigger motion. Instruments confirm it again and again. This object is active when physics says it should be dead. Brightness measurements deepen the unease. Instead of following predictable phase angle rules, the light output jumps erratically, brightening and dimming without warning. It does not reflect sunlight the way dust-covered ice should. It behaves as if its surface properties are changing mid-flight, or as if the light is not coming from dust at all. Every new curve breaks another assumption. There is no stable model that holds for more than a few hours. Then comes the chemical data, and that is where confidence truly fractures. Spectral lines reveal nickel, but almost no iron. This is not a minor imbalance. In natural formation, nickel and iron are inseparable twins, forged together in stellar environments. Finding one without the other is like finding smoke without fire. Researchers double-check calibrations. They rerun the analysis. The result does not change. The composition resists every known formation pathway. Worse still, the usual carbon-based volatiles are missing. No cyanogen bloom, no familiar carbon chains. These are the chemical fingerprints that define comets across the solar system. Their absence is not subtle, it is glaring. Solar heating should trigger predictable reactions, yet the object responds in distorted ways. Some regions heat without activity. Others erupt without sufficient energy input. Thermal models collapse under their own contradictions. The flybys add another layer of dread. As the object passes near massive planets, it should show gravitational scarring, tiny changes in rotation, trajectory, or spin state. But the data shows nothing. No wobble, no torque, no measurable disturbance. It moves through gravitational fields like they barely touch it. Even Earth, astronomically speaking, is avoided with surgical precision. The trajectory bends just enough to miss close interaction, as if margins were calculated rather than accidental. Individually, any one of these findings could be waved away. Instrument noise, rare chemistry, statistical flukes. But together, they form a pattern that refuses dismissal. 15 independent anomalies converging in a single interstellar visitor is not coincidence. It is a statistical outlier so extreme it borders on impossible. Nature does not stack improbabilities like this without reason. The fear inside the scientific community does not come from panic. It comes from recognition. Recognition that something fundamental is being missed. Recognition that the models are not failing randomly, they are failing together. And recognition that time is running out, because as this realization settles in, the object is already moving farther away, carrying its secrets with it, and just as researchers begin asking the question they have avoided since the first anomaly appeared, what if this is not behaving like a comet at all? A new set of data arrives, hinting that the anomalies may not be independent after all, but connected by a single underlying cause that has yet to be named. The warning sharpens as the object accelerates away. While most eyes shift towards safe explanations and familiar models, Avi Loeb refuses to let the moment dissolve. He does not announce conclusions. He demands inspection, now, not later, not after consensus forms in the absence of evidence. His tone is urgent because the window is collapsing in real time. Every hour, 3-eye atlas grows fainter. Every missed observation is a fact erased forever. Loeb points to the raw data still coming in. Unstable light curves, unresolved jets, chemical contradictions that should not coexist, and asks the question no one wants to answer. Why are we already looking away? He draws the parallel others avoid. When Oumuamua slipped past the sun, its strangest traits were softened, then sidelined, then archived as curiosities. By the time deeper questions gained traction, the object was gone. This time, Loeb warns, the pattern is repeating, but faster. 15 anomalies do not fade into noise by accident. They vanish when attention does. He stresses the risk in plain terms. If even one of these signals has a non-natural explanation, then dismissing it now is not caution, it is negligence. The implications would ripple beyond comet science, beyond planetary defense, into how humanity recognizes unfamiliar technology in deep space. The danger is not panic. The danger is missing the only proof we will ever have. The resistance he encounters only sharpens the tension. Calls for restraint become excuses for delay. Requests for more time collide with the fact that there is none. As 3-eye atlas recedes, the data stream thins, and debate begins to replace measurement. Loeb's final warning lands hard and unresolved. Once this object is gone, silence will feel safe, but safety will be an illusion built on lost evidence. And as the last clean photons arrive, one question refuses to settle. What else is being overlooked right now? As the next phase begins, the danger now is not impact. The danger is disappearance. As 3-eye atlas accelerates outward, observatories across the globe enter a silent emergency. Every second matters. Telescopes stay locked on target far longer than scheduled, pulling in photons that are already thinning, already weakening. Signal-to-noise ratios collapse in real time. What was clear days ago now flickers at the edge of detectability. Scientists are no longer observing a comet. They are chasing the last traces of something that is actively leaving human reach. NASA confirms continued tracking, but behind the calm language sits an unavoidable truth. This object is exiting faster than agreement can form. There is no time for committee conclusions, no time for long peer review cycles. Raw data pours in faster than it can be fully analyzed. Some instruments record anomalies that others cannot confirm before the signal fades. This is how permanent uncertainty is born, not from ignorance, but from time running out. As distance increases, the strange behaviors intensify instead of fading. Brightness does not decline smoothly. The sunward jet remains detectable longer than expected, then fractures into patterns that defy standard outgassing decay. Thermal models stop matching reality. The object cools in ways that do not align with its measured composition. Even as it retreats, it refuses to behave like something finished with its encounter. Soon, the handoff begins. Observations give way to simulations. Simulations give way to arguments. Arguments replace evidence. Researchers debate whether the anomalies were misunderstood, overinterpreted, or incomplete, but no new photons arrive to settle the fight. The comet has crossed the line where certainty is no longer possible. Whatever answers remain are now locked inside a receding point of light. The final twist is not dramatic, it is devastatingly simple. Humanity may never know what passed through the solar system, not because it concealed itself, not because it attacked, but because it did not wait. It entered, behaved unlike anything seen before, triggered alarms across multiple disciplines, and left on a trajectory that ensures no second look, no probe, no intercept, no correction. The anomalies are now historical artifacts, logged, archived, debated, and slowly buried under new discoveries that will never quite explain this one. 3I Atlas has already crossed beyond the zone where certainty survives. The solar system has been traversed, the questions are intact, the answers are gone. And as the object vanishes into interstellar darkness, one reality settles in with chilling clarity. Whatever this was, the next part of the story does not happen here.